Mother, I need your help. I need you to talk about your earliest memories of Calexico and where you lived, what the house looked like, if you know the name of the street. Any of those things will be really helpful.
Which house?
I don't know. See, I don't know anything about this time of your life.
Well, is this about a different family?
This is about you and Big Boo and Boo and you being born in Calexico. I need you to talk about that. Will you please?
We can't prove it.
Well, that's all right. You go ahead and talk. Tell me all you can remember. That's all.
Yeah, just make it very casual, you know.
Yes.
Or just say, the family outgrew that house, so they moved to a different one.
Well, which is the first house you remember being in Calexico?
Well, there was a house. I remember living in the house. It was a brick house. It was on a corner, and I think one of the streets was Blaine, but I'm not sure. And my father had bought it because at that time he was appointed consul down there for that would be for the American people?
For the Mexican country, yes.
And then we moved down a couple of blocks and around the corner. And it was just a common, ordinary house with steps in the front part of the house. And that's as far as we were allowed to go. We weren't allowed to go out of the yard at all. But see, what we forget to talk about is that even though my father was already done with the Pancheria business, there was always a hidden threat that somebody was waiting around under the tree to hit him on top of the head or something. They never talked about it in front of us, but we knew there was something going on, or that we had to be careful. I remember living in that house, and we have a couple of pictures of that, of us and our little friends sitting on the steps, but not being allowed to go beyond the gate. So I think that it was always my father had the idea that one of those guys would, just show up and create a scene or something. That's what I can remember.
What do you remember about the brick house?
Not too much. I was only about 6 years old then.
Which house were you born in?
Supposedly in the brick house. That would be the mansion house in the whole town. And it was very large, with a long, I never can think of this word, hallway. That's a long straight hall where you went into the story, the first story, and then at the end of that long hallway was the kitchen, and that also was all brick.
Was this a one-story or a two-story house?
One. I imagine there was a complete other one underneath.
But you lived on one floor.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me your father's full name.
Joaquin.
And his last name, his family name?
Hmm?
His family name?
His family's name, Joaquin Isaac Aceves. Aceves was the main family name. And that would be all that I would remember.
And then tell me your mother's full name, complete name.
My mother, you said my father.
Yes, now I want you to tell me your mother's full name.
Oh, Refugio Andrea Castañeda de Aceves.
Now, where was your mother born?
Hmm?
Where was your mother born?
Where was my mother's?
Where was she born?
Well, I think it was some little town around Juarez. But Juarez was their home by the time that I can remember anything.
And that's close to what city in the United States?
El Paso, Texas.
You said that pretty good, just like a Texan.
Hmm?
You said that like a Texan. Did you ever live in Texas?
Hmm?
Did you ever live in Texas?
No.
Tell me where your father was born.
My father was born, I guess, in Guadalajara or some other little towns around there.
Do you know the name of your grandfather?
Yes, Abundio.
Do you know his complete name? His full name?
Abundio Aceves.
And do you know your grandmother?